Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. Eric, what
Yes.
happened last time?
We talked to some farmers. We slept with some farmers.
Wait,
We looted
pause.
a body. We took a plant that we hope is Jeffrey. Trudged back to town with a cart full of so many things. Gave those so many things to Hular and said, hey, just make us some cool stuff and we'll call it square. Because Hular was taken aback by our generosity. We did keep the coins, the bag of coins to give to a collector. Then we went and told Varen's daughter that the job was done.
Got paid.
She was confused by the plant. Then we went home. Well, we headed home and got assailed, if you will, by Kadric.
He was reporting in on the quest.
Yeah,
you sent
that's
him
true.
on.
That's very true. Gave him his XP for the quest. Job well done. And then Kadric decided to start keeping secrets from people. And Pog and Ari told him that that's not okay. We don't keep secrets from each other. And then Kadric retaliated by just opening the biggest can of worms imaginable by saying that Ari and Shade are dating. So buckle up, everyone.
It wasn't going to be a talking episode. However, thanks a lot, child.
So a little over a week goes by. You hear back from Steeljack that he has the appointment with Lord Amanatu, but it is going to be a little bit. So as this goes by, we go into sort of late summer in Stormreach, Baracus, which is August or something like that. And the city continues to become more and more stable-ish, although rebuilding is still not really in process. It's still very much a process of clearing the damage, moving rubble to the rubble warren. The only place where any kind of effort to get things back in place is in the harbor, where some temporary makeshift piers have been set up to allow some shipping to occur, but probably over the course of the week, the lack of heavy shipping becomes a little more noticeable. Stuff becomes a little scarcer in some shops. The constantly shifting sea of faces of people coming in and out of the city becomes more static. And so you probably notice a shift in the feel of the city. So there's not really a return to normalcy on the horizon right now. But the immediate catastrophe is passing, and people are trying to get back together. So you all have a week in which you are able to resume somewhat normal life activity. What do you all get up to?
Pog would go and work with Hular and Salarka on the fascinating work of breaking armor down while not breaking it, and just trying to help, because it seemed like there was a little bit of goodwill there from Hular. So capitalize on that and spend time with Salarka simultaneously.
And move Pog to the front of the line on making stuff.
You know, I mean, it's not a negative there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Family.
You got it, chicken leg.
Okay. You wouldn't get it.
So.
Yup.
So Pog starts working on that. So lacking the expertise, You are, however, useful as muscle, hauling things, keeping the bellows working, that sort of thing. Give me an athletics check, Pog.
Much like Ari was there for the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. 22.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you are spending a lot of hours keeping the bellows hot. Hular almost spends the first few days building a larger space in his forge to allow him to work with some of these pieces of metal.
Wow.
And then there's the process of breaking down pieces of the armor into manageable bits. Over the course of the week, no one even gets to the sword or the axe. The sword is still leaned up against the chimney of the forge. But you guys, you help get a good bit of the way into breaking the armor down into its component parts, which Hular and his sons and Solarka start considering what they can turn it into and begin to work the metal into other useful shapes for people of smaller sizes. Although not exclusively. One thing you do know is that Hular is the Black Iron is pretty much the only shop in the city that does cater to large humanoids, ogres and half giants and things. That Black Iron does make a lot of armor and weapons for large adventurers. So not necessarily all smaller. What about Shade and Ari? What are you guys getting up to?
Well, Shade has several things to take care of.
Hmm?
Jeffrey needs a safe space.
Okay. There's a greenhouse.
That's
Or there's the
exactly where
grove.
I was thinking he would want to, that Shade would take him back to her balcony, but I don't think he would actually like that, isolated from the ground and all other plants. The grove. Yes. Definitely shares Jeffrey with River and asks River to watch over him.
Just
she could
concerned
talk to
about
him
Jeffrey and River's consciousness melding into one monstrosity.
Right? That would be great.
Okay, so going back to the grove, River is probably pretty deep in the grove when you come because there have been more people around on the grounds. She's retreated a little deeper into the trees. The trees are not getting substantially taller anymore, but the grove has become denser with plant life. And River is a little more isolated deeper inside. As the person who visits her probably more often than anyone else, you also notice River is Shade's pretty small. River's probably taller than Shade at this point, and substantially less childlike than when you met her.
Okay.
But when you bring her Jeffrey, she takes the stein in her hands, and sort of as you explain what it is, sort of slips her fingers over the edge and dips her fingers down into the dirt, and you watch as her eyes shift from the sort of warm gold to a cooler green, and then back. You say this plant's name is Jeffrey?
Yep.
All right. And I should... Did you rescue
Yeah, yes. Well, he was going to be uprooted for the distillery, but I uprooted him to keep. I hope he thinks I rescued him. That was the intention. But I didn't rescue all of them. There were a lot of other ones, but I didn't talk to them. Yeah, I rescue him. That's what we did. Yeah.
You talk to plants. No.
Yes. That was the first time, and it was a little weird. But yes, I can now sometimes talk to plants. But I don't think like I can talk to plants in the way that you talk to them.
I don't talk when I talk to them. It is, yes, different. I can plant Jeffrey.
Is he okay? Did you talk to him right now? Just for a little bit?
He is healthy.
Okay.
Is everything okay outside?
Yes. Like the earthquake knocked down a bunch of stuff, but they're getting it back together.
Good.
Are you okay? That was a little bit scary.
Oh, the earthquake. Oh, yes, I am fine.
Okay.
It did not hurt my trees.
Excellent. Are you okay in here? You're kind of by yourself a lot, which I get is great. But sometimes it's nice to have others around too.
Point proven, Cal.
There are trees and animals. But summer is ending and it feels different.
Bad different?
I don't know. This didn't happen where I was before.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Right.
In the Fae world, seasons are, but do not change. I don't know what that's like.
I can tell you what, like, from my perspective it's like, but I don't know how it's gonna affect you.
We will see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just keep talking about that. And I can tell you what to expect with the plants too, because the hi Cal. Yeah, thank you. Because they'll look different during the fall and winter too, but they'll come back okay.
All right. We should find somewhere with sun to plant Jeffrey.
But he would like that. Thank you.
Yes. And she wanders off into the grove carrying this stein with a fern in it.
Glorious.
She is so wonderful. Shade would also want to have a conversation with Mrs. Brightdoom.
Oh, okay. Well, she's
Given the
pretty much
opportunity.
staying at the school right now. As you will recall, her house collapsed. So
Right.
I'm sure Donabella loves that.
yeah, it's really cramping her style.
So given the opportunity, she finds her and in such a sorry, I keep looking to the side because I have food on my desk and
And a cat, yeah.
Calcifer is clearly pretending she's interested in me, but it's not accurate. Given all of the eloquence that Shade has, she just approaches Mrs. Brightdoom and is like, so how do you know like dating versus love, but then like love family, but then like love other than family versus like, but more than I like animals versus I like another person humanoid. Yeah, that's it.
So imagine there's like a group of children standing with.
Oh yeah, no,
Nailed
Mrs.
it.
Brightdoom's in the middle of everything, and she's just like, excuse
Class
me.
is happening.
Right. Let's go sit down somewhere. She
Okay.
sets aside the task she's doing and leads you out back into the little garden patio area off the library. This is you and Ari?
Well, that's definitely what started the conversation, but yeah, no, I don't understand a lot of the emotional nuances.
Well, I suppose the difference is a matter of depth, I guess. Liking someone and hanging out, wanting to hang out with them is one thing, and loving someone as family, the way you might a sibling, is about a certain loyalty and willingness to go out of your way and out of your comfort zone for them. Dating isn't exactly a feeling. It's something you do. It's where you spend time, usually one-on-one with the person you're dating, in order to see whether you have a deeper connection, a deeper bond that goes beyond friendship. sometimes going so far as, is this someone you want to commit to for a long time?
But how is that different than the commit that we've already, like, we all said we would stay together now?
Well, committing in this other way is saying that this is a person you want to share everything about your life with. They become a part of all of you. Pog and Ari so far have helped you in anything you needed, and you've helped them.
Mm-hmm.
But your confusion about your past, your journey to sort of discover who you are, it hasn't been something that it isn't something that they also feel and share. And when you commit to someone, well, for life or for in a more serious way, it is about sharing all aspects of your life. It doesn't mean you never spend any time alone or you don't have any things that you enjoy doing that they don't enjoy doing. But there's someone you consider in all the things you do. I understand that Pog has found himself in trouble with Solarka for going off on adventures without speaking to her first.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone who would be justified in feeling that way if you were to disappear on an adventure. But if you were to commit to someone like this, you would want to be considerate of their feelings because they would worry in a way that is different.
But if I just went on an adventure right now, I think Pog and Ari would worry about me.
They would. But if you came back and they were angry at you for going on an adventure, you would have a right to say, I'm a grown woman and I can go off on my own without telling you.
I do like that, yeah.
Now, Pog and Solarka, it would seem, have an expectation that Pog will tell her. And that's something that Pog has agreed to as part of their relationship. That doesn't have to be a part of every relationship, but it is more common kind of thing in the kind of commitment that you're talking about. Person does have a reasonable expectation of knowing what's going on in your life, or at least receiving some sort of check-in from you. Otherwise, it's not very much of a relationship if you don't share what's going on with them.
Oh. I mean, that's good to know.
Relationships are all different, Shade, just like friendships. Your friendship with Pog and your friendship with Ari Ari and your friendship with Esri are different friendships. And your friendship with me is different, and your friendship with Donabella is different. Right? The relationships have different dynamics.
Okay.
If you and Ari are dating, it will be different from Pog and Solarka. But the only
Right.
people who can figure out the way in which it is different would be you and Ari. But it would mean being more, perhaps gradually more, but more open and vulnerable than you usually are.
I hear you.
Who taught you to say that?
Mm.
I'm trying to get better about my responses. My first thought is, I don't like that. But I am learning that that's not appreciated.
You could talk to Ari about that. If you want to explore a deeper relationship with him, you could talk to Ari about that and explain what you would want the relationship to be like.
But what if you don't know? Can you just like decide as you go?
Yes, you don't
Oh.
have to lay out a contract or anything like that. But he deserves to know that too. Because otherwise, somewhere down the road, when you suddenly shift where you are and where you're comfortable, that will be unexpected and it could be unfair to him.
Oh. Okay.
Perhaps
this
think of it
was
this way.
helpful information. Yeah. Okay.
Any kind of relationship, you want to consider the other person's feelings. If you are having a committed relationship, then you would consider that person's feelings earlier in your process than you might otherwise.
So that's why Pog's mad about it, is because he thinks that I'll think of Ari before him.
Is he mad about it?
He has definitely seemed mad about it.
He might be. If he is, and you should ask him instead of just assuming that he is and acting as if he is, you should find out. But if he is, it might be because, like you, he doesn't know what this will mean. He knows it would mean a change, but he doesn't know what that change is yet.
But why would talking make it better if we both don't know?
It might make him feel better to know that you also don't know.
Okay.
But he might also not be mad.
I read people pretty well.
In any kind of friendship or relationship, Shade, open communication is important.
Okay.
Mood.
I just like the family dynamics. I know that I'll kill for them and they know, and I know that they'll kill for me, and like we understand that.
Family.
Right.
I really want to disagree with what you just said, but I would kill people over Donabella.
Right?
It isn't just that, though. That's not the only element of it. It isn't just that I would kill to protect Donabella, it's that, and this is a very different kind of relationship that we're talking about, just to be clear. what's good for her is more important to me than what's good for me. Because she's my daughter, and that's different. But it isn't just that I would kill to keep her safe. I would put what she needs before what I need. Friendship maybe isn't quite to that degree, and I'm not suggesting that that's how you approach Ari, because you're talking about Ari being your boyfriend, not your son. And that's
true.
very important not to confuse those two things. That would be what we would call codependency. Don't worry about it.
But he does depend
Don't
on
worry
others
about
to
it. Talk to
protect
her about
him.
this. What are you talking about, Mrs. Bright Doom? You got to the most important lesson. Why are we stopping here?
Ari, where did you come from? I think a starting point would be to find out what Ari wants and see whether it matches what you want. And if it doesn't immediately, that doesn't mean that you can't work it out, but you should both know what the other wants and be on the same page. I'm always very happy to talk to you about any of this.
I appreciate that. I know that I can ask you questions, and you
I'm
give
glad.
very good information.
But
As far as
knowing
I
what
can
he-
tell, I don't really know.
I try. I am not an expert in all of these things, but I try.
Thank
But his
you.
starting point would be knowing what he wants.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Is that not a lesson that you thought the kids needed to hear too? Because that was some helpful information.
It is a lesson that they will need, but I thought perhaps you might like some privacy when talking about your feelings.
Oh, yeah.
You might not want all of the students at the school to know what's going on with you.
Got it. No, that makes sense. They're very nosy, though.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just because I love the poetry of it, if I can step into one of the things Ari was going to be doing this week.
Mhm.
Ari takes off across the city towards the Moon Spears home.
Okay.
And tries to find them.
Sure. If you go during the day, they're kind of resting mostly, but they're around.
Ari would like to catch them when they're like obviously not sleeping, but rested before they actually go to do stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, Ari would kind of approach and knock on their door and just awkwardly stand waiting.
After a pause, the door opens and Ilya steps out.
Hi, Ilya.
Hello?
I'm actually here to talk to your folks if they're around. Also, did you go on a super cool quest lately?
Of course not.
Great. Yeah, just your folks are around.
She steps back into the hut and closes the door without saying anything. And after another pause, the door opens again, and Soleil is there. Hello, Ari. And he steps
Hi,
out of
Soleil.
the hut.
Hi. I hope I'm not disturbing anything.
No, Zenaida will have tea out in a moment. And he
Oh.
walks over to a space out front of the hut where there are carpets on the ground and settles down into a
Ari joins him.
cross-legged seat.
Ari joins him and says, "So, I wanted to come and talk to you all because Shade respects you all a great deal and has grown close to your family, like we all have. But Shade has a strong affinity for your family and the culture that you all are a part of, how you define family and relationships and things like that. And I'm in the early stages of, I guess, it sounds weirdly formal, but it's going to sound weird to say it anywhere. I have the intention of trying to court Shade. And I know that my normal brand of tomfoolery is not going to elicit any kind of feelings in her. She doesn't like people. Normally, back when I would take people on dates, we'd go to like places with lots of people, taverns. Know that Shade would hate that. So I was hoping that since she seems to have such a strong affinity for your family and your culture, if you could give me some tips on maybe how did you get Zenaida to like be interested in you?
She walks out at this point with a tray with cups, little bowls of tea, and sets it down between you all and settles in.
Thank you.
Settles down next to between you and Soleil. How did I court Zenaida? Well, we knew each other for some time, and in the tribe, and at a certain point, it seemed that we did not mind spending large amounts of time together. And so I began to bring her the trophies from my kills, to make useful items and bring them to her, to demonstrate my competence. This was the important thing, not the frivolity of mere gifts, but to demonstrate that I was someone upon whom she could rely in danger, and that I was not someone who would become who would be a liability in the jungle.
I see.
And once she accepted that this was so, we became bonded.
And what does that mean to you all, to be bonded? Is that like the equivalent of like married, or like
Yes, it is less formal among our people. There is no large ritual as some city dwellers use. It is the tribe knows, because the tribe knows everything that is going on. And so it is not necessary to hold a large ceremony to announce this. So we bonded, began to live together in the camps on the move, and when we came here after Ilya was born, obviously continued to live together to raise her, to be also a good and competent asset to the tribe.
Okay. And like when you all become bonded, like obviously you all raising Ilya together adds an additional layer of connectiveness, but like if you are people in your tribe, if they become bonded and then like a couple years down the line just aren't feeling it anymore, is it common to become unbonded, or is it kind of a more permanent fixture?
It is not common. It does happen.
Okay.
It is more common for one member of a pair to be killed violently in the jungle.
Of course.
But it does happen, and usually it is done without rancor or recrimination. But most of the time, once you have become bonded, you remain so.
Did you find, and Ari's also talking to Zenaida as well,
Yeah.
like he's talking about them, but like, did you all find that when you became bonded, the relationships that you had with like other people you were close to within the tribe changed, or did things largely stay the same and this was just an additional thing?
And they look back and forth between to each other, and have a married couple eyebrow conversation.
Love being in the room when those happen.
Zenaida says, our relationship to the tribe changed more when we came here and became parents, because the needs of our child became paramount. And so we, until she was old enough to fend for herself, we did not go and do quite so many dangerous things in the jungle and go on hunts as much. But this is expected, that while rearing a child, the tribe will not expect as much of members. So that's created perhaps some distance. We did not share in all of the adventures that were told about around the campfires, because we had other responsibilities. And we perhaps spent less time with some of the people that we had spent more time with before, when we became bonded and began spending our time together. But in the jungle, at least, the daily activities of the tribe are consumed with survival. And so, even upon bonding, you do not take some lengthy time to just go off and be by yourselves. You still have responsibilities to the tribe. And so we were continuing to fulfill our roles in the tribe. And those roles did not really change until Ilya was born.
Okay. I guess the big concern, and this is something that Shade expressed when I told her that I had feelings beyond friendship for her. Obviously, Pog spends so much time with us, and I also share her concern that I wouldn't want, if something were to develop with us, for that to negatively impact Pog. And so
What
that's
does
kind of
Pog
why.
think?
Pog and I talked after he found out, and he was more hurt that I didn't I went on the journey without him of figuring out my feelings and figuring out how to talk to Shade. And so it was more of a me and him thing than a him being concerned about me and Shade thing. At least that's what he told me, and I trusted him in that moment, to be honest with me. So it seemed Pog and I are working through some stuff. We're getting back to good, but I think it was an extension of that as opposed to me and Shade directly, if that makes sense. So it started off rocky, but I think it'll be better.
I see. Well, it would seem that conversation would be one to have with Pog.
I know, but y'all are wiser and more experienced at this kind of thing. So, yeah.
It is different here than when we were young and newly bonded, because there is time here to worry about whether someone's feelings are hurt.
That's fair.
And when it is possible that a tyrannosaur with tentacles and a mouth in its chest might stumble upon you out of the woods, you are less concerned with whether or not your companion's feelings are hurt by your bonding.
Now, is the mouth chest a second mouth, or is that its only
Yes. No, it is a second one.
mouth? Okay. That actually, the head shape of a Tyrannosaurus without a mouth there would be very funny looking. So I was, yeah.
It is not.
Yeah. And tentacles too. Oof.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the tea and your time. I appreciate it. And I might be back if I have more questions. But yeah, I thank you all. And if you need anything from me or us at the school, obviously don't hesitate to ask. Yeah.
Very well.
Thank you. And Ari gets up and awkwardly waves and turns to walk away.
They wave and go back drinking their tea and watch you go. Pog,
Hi.
how's it going, buddy?
All right, man. I'm super sweaty. Just been
Yeah.
furiously billowing flames at a forge. You know how it is.
So it's the end of a day of work. You and Solarka are relaxing, eating some sort of street food. And just for narrative symmetry, she says, "So, Ari and Shade."
Yeah, they're kissing now, I guess. Sometimes. I don't know. Dating, maybe. Kadrick said that, and they were both weird, and so I guess they are, but they don't know it. I don't know.
They don't know if they're dating?
Yeah. I feel like
gone on a
they.
date?
Okay, not that I know of, but that's not saying a whole lot, really, because I didn't know of any of them kissing. So maybe, but I don't think so. I think they're thinking about a lot of things and not doing a whole lot of things.
I see that.
Yeah. I don't know. They're weird. It's only going to be weirder if they're kissing now, you know? They waited a long time to start that.
You think it will be weird?
For them, They don't know how weird. Yeah. Because we're probably, no, we're definitely not done having to fight things. Like there's going to be more fighting things. It's kind of what we do. And it's going to get weird for them to maybe make sure that one of them doesn't get stabbed instead of doing the stabbing of things that should happen, which is kind of not good. And we've talked about that. Like, you would be good to have on adventures, but I wouldn't do all of the things I would need to do because I wouldn't want you to get hit.
You don't think I could handle myself?
I definitely think you could. Absolutely. I wouldn't be able to handle myself worrying and watching while you did. But Ari dies all the time, and if Shade is worried about that, she might not stay alive long enough to make Ari alive again. And I'm dying now too, apparently, as a thing. So, almost. I'm just kidding. I'm not really dying. No, I just lost some blood. You know how I do.
Right.
Big old bite.
Does it distract you to know that I would be extremely upset with you if you died?
Nope. I would be very sad if you weren't going to be upset if I died. But I wouldn't be there to see you upset because I'd be died. So I'm just more focused on getting to see you again. To not die. To not dying.
All right. Do you think that maybe you are not giving them enough credit?
No.
So you don't think they can focus on anything other than one another during the fight?
That's what you... Oh, I thought... I mean, I give them credit all that. They can all have my money, but I didn't understand what you meant. Yeah, no, they probably can. I hope they can. I just don't think they've had to yet. I'm sure they will. I don't know.
Kissing not happened before the giant?
Yeah, I think the kissing is a big deal to talk about and not a real big thing to change everything, to be honest.
Well, if it doesn't seem to have changed anything when you fought a giant together, then maybe it won't.
I would hope not. I don't know. I was really just kind of sad that I didn't get talked to about it before everybody got talked to about it, because, you know, it was kind of a big deal. But that's
not
all.
Really about you.
Nope. That's why I'm not worried about it anymore.
Good.
Maybe I should see if they have gone on a date. Maybe I'm not asking enough questions.
I don't know. It depends on whether you think they want to talk about it. If they don't want to talk about it, then asking more questions will not help.
Asking questions could make it distracting.
That is possible, yes.
Oh. I'll keep these thoughts to myself then. I'm just not worried.
Well, good.
Should I be worried?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just going to listen to you on that one because I don't want to be worried.
They'll make a cute couple. They both have...
Okay.
They both have their strange Feywild stories. It's like a little story itself.
It is. It is. I see, you know, it's silly to me, but it's okay. It is kind of cute. On Shade's part. Ari, on the other hand. I'm just kidding. It's season.
Well, I'm glad you are not worried about it.
And I shouldn't be.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to go back to not being.
Good. wasn't trying to make you worried.
Okay.
Ridiculous. Really ridiculous.
No, it's really hard to be nonplussed when you're so simple. Like, this is... So what?
Fair enough.
I would watch Solarka Pog conversations all day.
Yeah. Just wonderful.
All right. So presumably, eventually, you all make your way back towards the school.
Ari would stop
I'm there.
by.
It's been a week, yeah.
Ari would stop by on his way back from the Moon Spears. Stop by. He would try to find like a florist that specializes in like jungle, like flowers in the jungle. And Ari basically just has two criteria. I don't know if you want to role play it, but like he wants a potted flower, not a cut dead flower, but like a living thing, and he wants it to be orange. Those are his only two criteria.
Okay. I think you can definitely find that.
If it's carnivorous, that would be another, but that's just a tertiary.
Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, you find a florist, but sort of out on the while you're over towards the jungle side, after seeing the Moon Spears, who's selling flowers. It is it's definitely one of the Rushime giants. With a booth set up with various jungle plants in bowls and pots and various sized vessels. And they have a plant called ash bloom that is kind of that's like orange towards the center, and then the edges of the petals shift very very dark, almost to black. And it is it exists nowhere else, and it is impacted by the weird magics of Zendrick, so that it is elementally charged. And what it does is it lures insects in, and then when it senses them land on it, the leaves heat up, and that's how it kills its prey.
All right.
Don't put your fingers on it for very long.
Noted. Thank you. Yeah.
And it costs you a gold.
A gold. Okay.
It's rare.
Ari asks as he's about to walk away, he turns back. It's like, is it the insects, does that sustain it enough, or does it require other care? Other than water, obviously.
Water, but
Okay.
no, the insects should get it enough nutrients.
All right. Thank you. And Ari
course.
heads back to the house. Just seeing
very
little
well.
cinders, like as insects land on it. He's walking across town.
Mm-hmm. It's like an organic bug zapper. Okay, and as Ari returns to the house, I think we will wrap this episode up, as we are about at an hour. Thank you all so much for watching this feelings-laden episode.
Not even like
if you'd like to get in touch with
preparation
us.
for feelings, like get like information gathering.
Yeah. How to feelings.
On the topic of feelings, Pog's
How
not hungry
feelings.
anymore. So at least there's that. That's
Nice.
been accomplished. Yeah.
Mhm.
Progress, people.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can do so obviously in comments below, but also there are links to all of our social media down below, including a link to Colin's Twitch, where he is sorry BTR, the O in that be a 0, as well as links to the Geek Pantheon pages. New episodes of Khyber Shards every Monday, new Khyber Shards answers every Friday, and until next time, thanks for rolling with us.